Marketing is evolving at the speed of light, and what used to work no longer does. You can think about it in terms of how people aren't opening their emails the way they once did, how we're now kind of being spammed with text ever since there was that random floating number about the 98% open rate. And ultimately, people are just kind of smarter and more discerning when it comes to their marketing, which I honestly do think is a good thing that people are kind of seeing through the fluff and BS. But as a marketer and as a business owner, I also understand how scary it is when what used to work just stops working one day. So, what do we actually do about it? I actually want to start with a hard truth. It's not your marketing. It is your infrastructure. But rather than working on that, what I see people do instead is a lot of tinkering when they see these things changing and breaking down, which I also get. I can be guilty of it too. So you're not alone in this. But what this looks like in practice, it's this painstakingly reevaluating every offer, every line of copy you have everywhere. It can look like iterating and reiterating your website or playing around with your brand aesthetic again. But that's all just busy work that doesn't actually move the needle. So let's talk about the real issue, the infrastructure or lack thereof. What that means is it's no real plan. I see a lot of people thinking they have a plan though, but in practice, there's no intentional ecosystem that brings people into your world and makes it simple for them to take the next step. It's disjointed processes and systems that make you and your team feel like you're doing a lot, but you're not actually getting anywhere. So if this sounds like you, fear not, you are in the right place. So how do we fix it? If I'm being really honest, I love stunning creative as much as the next person. I want that gorgeous website with the breathtaking emails. So I'm not knocking your quest for gorgeous marketing. I'm just saying that a pretty face isn't enough. What's crucial to making stunning work actually work for you is the system behind it. It's the authenticity that first makes people want to connect with you. It's the then clean messaging and positioning that not only attracts the right people to you, but also, more importantly, alienates the wrong fits away from you. It's giving people simple heck yes solutions that are easy to find and super easy to take action on. And it's a super simple way for you and your team to manage it all. So it's all of those people or all of those pieces working together to build a system that actually works for you. And lately, I've been seeing a lot of technically successful businesses, the multi six figures to low seven figures, what have you, but who can't seem to cross their next threshold and ultimately fall into marketing tinkering land or scapegoating, like the name of this episode is. So they come to me to fix their marketing, which obviously we can do. We can create stunning work, but what's actually needed is so much deeper than that. So let's talk about a couple real world examples, and I'll leave the personal details out for privacy, but these are real conversations that I'm having. So first off is there's this insanely impactful coach who's a little out there. She's definitely not your run of the mill person. And the way that she supports people is when they're really ready to go deep. So these people are speaking in an entirely different language. They're into the quote unquote woo woo support and guidance. And it's just an entirely different world. However, there's still a disconnect between what her clients think they need versus what they actually need. So it does create this really frustrating disconnect from her. So therefore, what I've seen her do a lot, and we will laugh about it, is she's constantly tinkering with her website. She's constantly tinkering with the copy, with the site structure, with the offers. But what it ultimately comes down to and what actually moves the needle isn't really found by that tinkering. When she started really showing up and really speaking about who she is, the experiences she had, and how that's translated into truly deeply, meaningfully helping her clients, that's when things started to change. That's when the following came. That's when the engagement came. For her, it started with not being afraid to show up as who she really is, maybe scaring off the wrong people in the process and being so fierce in the this is who I am, this is who I'm for, this is how I help, and this is what you do when you're ready for the transformation. This is how you work with me. So for this example, what mattered most was stripping things down to the core essence of what actually mattered. It wasn't the pretty graphics, the perfect copy, the perfect website. I can't tell you how many successful businesses and people I know that don't really have a great website, but they have a system in place. They have an infrastructure in place that still gets people what they need when they need it in a way that works for them and guides them to the next step. Another example is this business owner that I've been speaking with who is successful. She's built this sought after med spa, but now she's ready to take it to the next level. And so one way that she's doing that is through PR. However, when she and the team are like working to get placements in Lux Media, when you look at the experience you're sending them back to, the website, the product packaging, the e-com experience, there's a massive disconnect. So yeah, for this one, it can feel like it is a matter of adding in pretty visuals and tinkering that way. But it's more intentional than that. It's creating this real system and real infrastructure that reflects where they're going and making sure that every single touch point reflects that. And again, it's eliminating the friction. It's getting really clear and grounding into what's needed, what works, all of that fun stuff. And ultimately, it really comes back to that overall strategy and the infrastructure that's built around the strategy. So now coming back to this whole premise of the episode, marketing in the way that people often think about the social content, the pretty visuals are all important pieces of the puzzle. I'm not going to deny that. I think they're so important. But each individual piece isn't the make or break element that business owners who, when they get that itch of things aren't working and I have to just tinker and fix it and figure it out, these aren't the pieces that are going to make or break it in the way that they expect they are. Tinkering with your marketing is actually just scapegoating, piecemealing your problems, not actually getting anywhere with them. But when we get clear and more intentional with the larger experience you're creating, how you guide people through it, how you're simplifying along the way, how you're eliminating that friction, how you're intentionally, like so often we add things in, we overcomplicate, but when we pull back and make it simpler for people to say yes and give you money and also make it simpler for you and your team to manage it all and keep the train on the track, that's when things really start to change. So here is your permission slip to stop tinkering and start getting clearer on that bigger picture, the ecosystem, the real experience that you are cultivating for people coming into your world who are ready to say yes, who cannot wait to give you their money, who cannot wait to work with you. If you're looking for deeper support on what this actually means for you, we're always here and available to help. Lately, we've been really focused on design, user experience, and simplifying systems. So whether you're looking for done for you marketing or done with you marketing, where we guide you through building those systems, ironing things out, simplifying, streamlining, making it easier for you, for your team, and for people coming to you, we've got you. If that sounds interesting, you can find all the places on where to get in touch with me in the show notes. And if this episode gave you enough to go out and refine smarter and look at your business and your marketing in the way that's really going to cut through the noise, that's really going to build the infrastructure to be a program and a system that works for you, that doesn't just look nice, I have faith that you've got this. So hopefully this helps. And until next time.